8,
You're watching The
7,
Experience, Comic Culture, and
6,
Sales.
5,
Streaming live daily to
4,
Facebook, YouTube,
3,
Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Are you guys getting all ready for that turkey? I've got my turkey getting prepared. It's being defrosted and I'm getting ready to brine it. Okay, but we'll get into that a little bit more this evening. Anyway, don't forget to hit that follow, like button. That's going to help us continue all the fantastic programming we have for you right here, all the wonderful content on The Experience, like on Friday nights at 7 p.m. with the original art experience with Nick Barucci. He's celebrating Black Friday early, so he's getting ready to bust your bank, right? So check in with him. And right after that, you can end your Friday night with some unusual books that are put out by Friday Night Live, and it's books that are good for all ages. Then on Saturday at 4:30 p.m., this is EST, check in with Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. On Sunday at 5 p.m., it's Talkin' Shop with Miss Jen. 6 p.m., Comic Collectibles. 10 p.m., The Devil's Advocate. And then on Monday, you can start your evening off with the Dan Wickland Show. And then at 7 p.m., it's A Minute to Skim It. At 8 p.m., Meet Hunter Comics. And then on Tuesdays, we've got the Dan Wickland Show again at 5 p.m., followed by the Comic Collectibles at 7 p.m. So tonight, we've got a bunch of creators with us again, all-star cast. Christopher Brian Dorsey is here. He's just wrapped up his War Angels trade paperback. He's also brought back he's brought back Justin Hunt with him from last week, so we'll check in with him too. Now, Jason Metcalf was supposed to be here tonight, but he just messaged us that he's not going to be able to make it. His car broke down on the freeway, so we hope that he doesn't have too much of a trouble resolving that and gets home safely. But maybe we'll get an update from him later on. And can't forget our good friend Ruben Rosas. He's back here with us tonight, so we'll see what's going on with him as well. Don't forget to type in #EXP SketchUp. That'll get you qualified for 2 giveaways that we're going to have tonight, and we'll talk about those later on when we get back from this short commercial, right? So don't go away. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Glad to see you guys in with us this evening. Of course, I've got my beautiful partner, Mog. We've got Christopher Brian Dorsey and Mr. Justin Hunt. Now, we're going to get to them in a second here. I got to do some promotions here for the channel. Okay, so on Saturday, November 25th, we've got Drive to 25. And what we want to do is we want to reach 2,500 followers by that day. Now, we're kind of close already. And so there's a good chance that we could hit that before Saturday. Now, when we do, what we're going to do is we're going to give away a 1 out of 25 variant on each show that day. Okay, so like I said, there's a good chance that we may hit it before. If not, we'll probably hit it on that day. Right, so give us your support, hit that follow button, help us reach 2,500, and then we can release these goodies all to you, okay? Now, so we've got Christopher Brian Dorsey here. He's just wrapped up his War Angels trade paperback, and we'll be talking about that. But he's brought in a slew of goodies for all of you guys to bring home for Christmas if that's your wish. Right, so starting up, we've got a set of slab books of Jessica. If you can bring that up, JD. There you go. Look at that. They're beautiful. Can you tell us a little bit more about this miniseries, Brian?
Yeah, so the Book of Jessica is in one of my comic book universes. That universe itself is called Third Testament, so it's kind of supernatural, post-apocalyptic. The book of Jessica is based on one of the heroes in that universe, and we have 4 issues of that we combined into kind of a graphic novel trade, and these are the single issues that make that up. And since we knew we were going straight to kind of the trade version of it, issue 3, we only did 100 of those, and in issue 4, I think we did 50 of those. So
Wow.
those 3 and 4 are also limited prints as well.
Wow. So those are really low runs there, right? And so is the character also part of your War Angel series?
No, the Third Testament universe, which includes Jessica and the Book of Luca, if you for the poster back there. Also have one called The Middle Ground that Justin has done some artwork for. And then a couple others we're working on, including a short film called The Book of Zeke, which we just finished the film festival run with. They're all in that kind of supernatural horror universe.
Mm-hmm.
War Angels is a completely separate universe, kind of a standalone.
Okay. All right. So now you mentioned film. What is your background?
So I'm actually retired Navy. So I did 23 years in the Navy. Half enlisted, half commissioned. I kind of had wanted to do some writing, kind of put it on the back burner from the time I was about 15 until I was in my late 30s. Then decided I was going to head and try to write a little bit. So I ended up getting into science fiction novels. I have, I think, about 6 of those out right now. But then about 5 years ago, got into comic books. There's a lot of things that I was kind of developing for some scripts and film, but kind of realized that those would make really good comic books as well. So it's kind of, I got into the comic book writing, like I said, about 5 years ago or so.
Wow. Okay. So were you taking classes?
So my background is I'm all over the place academically. So I've got a degree in radiation physics, a degree in history, and then a master's degree in social science. So, so I think all that stuff kind of helps writing, even though it's not like English literature or composition or anything like that. It's just particularly doing science fiction, that science background helps. And then just understanding history and being a student of cultures and things like that really helps bring some different characters to life when you're writing fiction as well.
Yeah, I agree with you, right? Because I have an interest in science fiction that started out early. I've got an interest in history as well, right? And it provides a lot of sources, and it can spur a lot of creativity on when you're developing stories, or even when you get into like world development and character development as well, right? So I totally agree with you on that. So you've also got a couple books, a couple more books that are slab that you're offering up. What are those?
Yep. So I've got one. This is issue 6 cover. That Justin Hunt did the cover for this one. It's actually another limited. I believe we did 25 of these for Emerald City Comic Con a few years back. Just got a couple of those left. And that's again in the War Angels series. I've got another one here that is issue 7 cover from, and it's signed by the cover artist Jason Metcalf and myself. And then we've got a great Justin Hunt lineup here. I've got 2 issues 1 and 2 of Couch Surfing, which is about 3 homeless teenagers who also happen to be a witch, a werewolf, and an exorcist. So they're dealing with being homeless while they're fighting supernatural evil. And so I've got 2, issue 1, issue 2, signed by both Justin and myself. And then we've got an unsigned 9.8 of issue 2 from Justin's cover too.
Okay. All right. So, and how? Okay. So the Book of Jessica set, that is at 150. Right. So if anybody wants that, just go ahead and you can claim that in the comments. You can say claim Jessica and that will be yours. Don't forget to fill in the magic form that will pop up there later this evening, and that will get you situated with that. And then for the other 2, you have the issue 6, right?
Yep.
That was $50, right? So if
Yes.
anybody wants that, and that's the one by Justin Hunt with the Justin Hunt cover. If you want that, you can say claim War Angel number 6. Okay. And then there's War Angel number 7, which has a Jamie Tyndall cover on there. That's signed as well.
That one's Jason Metcalf.
Okay, Jason Metcalf. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Jamie Tyndall's the poster. We haven't talked.
Jamie Tyndall is the poster, and we'll get to that in a second. So Jason Metcalf did the cover for number 7. If you want that, you can claim that in the comments as well. That's also for $50. And then the Cough Surfing 1 and 2.
Yep. So we got the 2 that are signed. Each one of those were for auction, I believe.
Okay, so Cough Surfing 1 and 2 is for auction.
Yeah, as well as the set number 2.
What did you want to start those at?
We'll start those at 30.
Okay, so Cough Surfing 1 and 2 that are signed at 30, and then you have Cough Surfing number 2. Is it that's not signed?
Yep, and that one's a 9.8.
Okay, and what did you want to do with that?
We'll start that one at 25.
Okay, so 30 for the signed ones, and then 20 for the unsigned. And then you have, okay, that's okay. So now let's go ahead and bring up those posters.
Okay. That one is the War Angel Honahay. That for Emerald City Comic Con exclusive. We did 25 of those. This is number 17 of 25. And this is by Jonathan Lau, colored by Omi Rimolante. They do a lot of stuff for Dynamite.
Right. And you said the starting bid on that is 50?
No, I think I was going to do that one at 15.
15. Okay, 15. Yeah. So we got a starting bid on that is 15. If you want that, you can type in Honohee, and that is type in that with the starting bid of 15 or higher if you want. Okay, and then the second one is this is the Jamie Tyndall one,
yes.
Ava.
Yep, and it's one of the covers from our trade, and this one is, if you can see it up there, number 7 of 25.
Okay.
For that.
All right, so that's also available. So there's a lot of items that Brian has brought in. If you need us to show everything again, we can go ahead and do that. Stevie writes, that war cover by Justin solved the mystery of what happened to my 7th grade math teacher. Okay. I don't know if I want to go beyond that, but okay.
Yeah, she's actually a 4,000-year-old Celtic witch.
Oh. Yeah, not too much of an age difference there.
Yep.
All right, so now give us the spiel on War Angels.
Okay. Yeah, so War Angels in general is basically, it's about women that have died through acts of bravery throughout history and across different cultures. So that's kind of where the history background comes in, right? And they've died through acts of bravery, and they have the opportunity to become these supernatural warriors that kind of fight the forces of chaos. And this Wraith Queen is kind of the leader of that, and she has an army of Wraith witches. And so she basically wants to kind of spread chaos because she thinks that's the natural order of things. And so the War Angels kind of oppose her across multiple realms, and our contemporary Earth is just one. Others are magic fantasy based, others are futuristic. So the idea with the series is, with the same characters, same storyline, you get science fiction, fantasy, and contemporary storylines.
And you finished 9 issues?
Yeah, we've got 9 issues done. We've got a 5-chapter origin anthology, which has different character origin stories. And we also have 2 one-shots, an additional origin story, and we're working on issue 9 right now. Are
all these available on your website?
Yeah, you can download the individual issues directly from the website in PDF form. The trade paperback version isn't there, but you can get all the individual issues that make that up.
Wow. Okay, and you still have all the issues are available?
Yeah, well, in PDF form.
Okay. All right. Okay, so there you have that. I've actually read some of that. I was fortunate enough to get those files. So it is a very interesting read, interesting characters, and you're actually going forward with this. So with issue 10, that's a new story arc. Is that correct?
Yeah, it kind of leaves off. The main focus for the first story arc is supposed to show the reader about what the War Angels are through the eyes of this woman, Val, as she becomes one. So it kind of starts off with her in high school in Arizona, ends up in the streets of LA, then this magical realm of Asenia, then ends in a gunfight in a bar in LA. The first couple issues of that. And it's basically her coming of age to become one of these warriors. So issue 10 kind of starts off on another tack. They're kind of dealing with the aftermath of this major battle, which was her first battle, with a couple characters having to make some pretty significant decisions about what they want to do with kind of where they're at right now.
Okay. A question here from Stevie B. He goes, where the heck was Brian stationed in the Navy to come up with all these ideas?
So mostly West Coast. I guess in the Navy, I was in Florida, Idaho, California, Washington, upstate New York, and then I did several deployments in the Western Pacific and Middle East. So, but I think a lot of it really comes more from that history background, doing a lot of research and things like that. So a lot of time, and that really works well with War Angels because I'm trying to have unforced diversity, if that makes sense, right? So I want to go find particular places and events in history and pull characters out from those and then put them in this fictional world.
So what is your favorite parts of history?
I would say for me, the most part was probably 19th century American history and Native American history. Obviously, Honohea is kind of one of the more popular characters in War Angels. A lot of people really like her. She's Lakota and Northern Cheyenne from the 1870s when she became one of these warriors. But she also was a fine line between whether or not she was going to become a War Angel or a Wraith Witch. Basically, a Wraith Witch and a War Angel fought to determine which side she was going to go to. And so she's always there's almost like this Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker pull from the Wraith Queen to her. And so she's always walking that line. But I kind of describe her as a cross between James Bond and the Punisher. So she's kind of like a cleaner. So if technology gets into a more kind of medieval based world or magic were to come into our realm, one of her jobs is to go and get it back.
How much magic takes place in your stories? Are you introducing a lot of magic or not?
So it's what I would say is it's not a heavy factor in throughout. It just kind of depends on where you're at. In general, there's not a lot of magic that's tried to be used in the realm that we're in, but some of the realms like Haven or Asenia, which are places where magic kind of exists and are normal to people, there's a lot more of it. The Wraith Witches tend to use more magic, and part of that is if they use it in places where they're not supposed to, it's also easier for the War Angels to find out where they're at and what they're doing because they can kind of sense that use of magic in an unusual place.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, you don't want to make your characters like way too powerful. But now, can a War Angel die?
Absolutely. And so they're just really hard to kill. So basically, as long as they're not killed in battle, like they won't die of natural causes. So there's some of them that are thousands of years old in their second life, but it is capable for them to die, usually in battle at the hands of a Wraith Witch.
Okay, so and then when they do die, are they just like reincarnated back, or
no? For this, I wanted to again kind of focus on a diversity aspect. So when they die that second time, they'll actually go to whatever afterlife they believed in. So the Vikings will go to Valhalla. There's one character named Revan Raven. She was a devout Catholic when she died in the 1860s, and so she actually looks at her job as a war angel as purgatory, and so she's this extremely faithful and dutiful soldier because she feels she has to kind of pay her penance in order to get into heaven.
Okay, that's cool. That's a nice giving back respect to what they believe in and keeping it real in that part. So Fireworm is asking us to show 6 and 7 of the War Angel pieces again.
We put 7 up here.
Okay.
This is 7. It's got a little bit of a glare on it.
Right, and those are both available for $50. So if you want those, you can just claim those in the comments, and that will be yours, just in time for Christmas. If there's anything else you guys want to see, just go ahead and say so in the comments, and we will bring that right up. We want to say hello to some of the people that are here. We got Kenneth Bird. Good to have you again. Stevie B in the house. And who else do we have? We have Ilya is here today. Glad to have you here. And we also have I don't know if I'm going to say this right. Fireworm. I think that's how you say it. Thank you guys for joining us here tonight. We also we're going to be taking a little break in a little while here, but let's check in with Justin. Your Ninjawitch is off to a good start. That launched yesterday, and you landed at 7,300 something plus at the end of the day. So that's a much higher than your last campaign, which was only just finished like a few months ago. So you're heading right back into this second issue. So we're glad to see that's going good for you. What are you working on tonight?
Well, tonight, first, thanks for the Ninjawitch throw out. It's doing pretty good. We're at just under 7,600. So we've done 2 unlocks. The next unlock is these sweet metallic purple.
Love the purple.
And
love the purple.
But tonight, I'm working on a cover for my buddy Brian.
Wow. Okay.
So the cool part about this character is nobody's seen her before. So Brian said I get to pretty much design the character. And this isn't the first time I designed a character for Brian. On couch surfing, he didn't really know what the demon looked like. So I got to design the demon for that cover. So this is a Native American who becomes a wraith witch. But she's a badass. So I'm going to have a bunch of Native American stuff up here with guns and stuff coming up like the background. She's sitting on a throne. It's going to have a bunch of carvings in it. And she's got a knife. And down here is going to be some dead war angels. She's got tattoos on her arm because she was in the military. And then hanging from her, like she's kind of holding it, but she's got the amulets from the war angels as like dog tag trophies kind of thing going on.
Okay.
So I'm really just kind of working it over tonight. And then from here, I'll end up going to final pencils and then the inks. And then we're auctioning off not this particular piece. It'll be this piece, but not the roughs. We're going to auction off tonight. Whoever does the high bid will get the final pencils.
Oh,
so
okay.
That way they get the nice clean art to put up on the wall.
All right. So, and what you're starting that at 250, was it?
Yeah, $250.
Okay, $250 if you want to bid on the final pencil work for that cover. Okay, so that's going to be very interesting.
Yep.
So if you want to bid on that, you can write in. Let's see, we'll put War Angel cover Justin. Right, put that in there with the amount that you want to bid on, and that will get you in there. Then once we get that initial bid, we will be accepting bids in increments of $5. Okay.
And then just to let everybody know, Mel, my original art for covers usually starts about $750. So the $250 is a pretty good steal. So
okay. Yeah, that's really low. I was when you initially told me that I was going, wow, okay. I said, I know that can't be your price, but okay. So that's
sounds like a good rate.
Fantastic deal. I know. It's like somebody can like snag that up real easily here, right? And we're gonna be doing the same thing. I want to show the piece that Mog did for the trade. Okay, if JD, you can bring that up. And this was something that this is a piece that she did for the trade. It's colored by Martina Rossi. Do you have the pencils? There you go. Okay. And that's the pencils, right? And then for this show as well, we are putting that up for $400. Okay. So, and again, like same as Justin, right? Normally with something like this, we sell this for a minimum of $600. Okay. Because of the amount of work that she put in there, we'd probably do it for like $750, but normally we start at like $600. So if anybody wants that, you can bid on that at $400, and that'll get you to have a nice little Christmas present and get something from Mog as well. Okay. And then we showed the colored version. That was the final piece that was colored by Martina Rossi, and that's available as a trade paperback.
Yeah, and I got a final kind of version
there
of
you
it.
go. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing that's great, because both Justin and Mog are drawing, is both those characters are kind of the primary characters for issue 10. So we really get into their character story arcs throughout, and we're actually introducing the character that Justin is drawing. So
okay. All right, Mog, what are you working on?
I'm just working on a War Angel that's inspired by. It's just my.
So you're pretty much like creating a War Angel on your own, and is that it?
Yeah, like 1800s. You know, like that time where what's that thing where they fought in American history?
Okay, so
where they're trying to drive the English people out. What time period is that? 1850.
So during the
there's the War of 1812. There was the Quasi War of the early 1800s. There was the French and Indian War.
Yeah.
The Great Pacific Northwest Pig War that Brian knows about.
Okay, so yeah, it's kind of like
probably 1812 was probably
1812. Yeah, somewhere
early
where they have the those long rifles with the blade at the end. I don't know what they're called, but yeah. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, and what are we starting that out at?
You decide.
Okay, we'll start that out at 50. Right, so if you want to bid on that, you can say Mog War Angel and place your bid on there. Okay. I want to say hello to Kurt Zauer. Thank you, Kurt, for dropping by. He's also got a Kickstarter running with Mog's work, where she does the interior and the covers. You got a chance to check that out. It's going to be ending in about like 5 days, right? So, and that's doing pretty good. We're pretty happy with that. And don't forget to put in #EXP SketchUp, and that will get you into the running for the giveaways. And one of the giveaways we're doing tonight is a print set from our good friend Louis Bravo. And there you go. You can tell that he's kind of like a funny guy here. And if you can see, knows clearly what's going on. And the other thing that we'll be giving away is also a Demon Bitch merchandise stuff, which is a keychain and a sticker. So we'll be giving those away later this evening. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick break. And so don't go away. We'll be right back with our guest, Christopher Brian Dorsey and Mr. Justin Hunt. And hopefully by then, not Louis Bravo, but Ruben Rosas will be here by then. We'll get a chance to check in with him also. All right.
Join the party. Head over to our Linktree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds, a promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
There's a comic book universe on the streets of Cleveland. Hero Tomorrow Comics is debuting
Violante, the Undead.
Get the new issue or the entire acclaimed library live on Kickstarter.
I'm coming for you, Cleveland.
Details at clevelandsuperhero.com.
Programming on the EXP is made possible by viewers like you, or your local comic shop, or that Kickstarter you backed, or the publisher you like, or comic industry professionals who want to share a message with the world. Really, anyone who wants to advertise with us can. If you're interested in seeing a product you know and love, or are creating, or are publishing, or are involved with, advertised here on The Experience, and having your message shared with our viewers, please reach out by scanning the QR code below or visiting our website and using the contact form.
Hey, welcome back to Sketch Up with Mog and Mel. You're watching us on The Experience. Don't forget to hit that follow button and help us reach 2,500 by November 25, Thanksgiving weekend, right after Black Friday. And we'll be releasing 1 out of 25 variants on each of the shows that occur that day. All right, so we've got Christopher Brian Dorsey with us, and Justin Hunt has also come back to help give his support. And we're glad to see is Ruben there? There he is. Hey, Ruben.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you doing today?
Good. Sorry, I'm running a little
No
behind.
worries. And what are you going to be working on tonight?
I'll be doing a sketch on this G.I. Joe blank sketch cover.
Okay. Do you know what character you're going to be drawing?
I think I'm going to go and see if I don't mess it up again. The Baroness.
Of course.
Yeah.
Get your style in. Your starting bid on that is going to be?
Let's do 75.
75 starting bid on Baroness.
Yes.
Okay. And CVB writes, as a Mets fan, I'm a little concerned that Justin will draw the throne she's sitting on, built in the image of the Yankees' 27 championship trophies. Okay. All right. So Brian, tell us a little bit about your writing style. What references or who do you like? Who do you go by? Hello, Brian, can you hear me? Hello, Brian? Okay. All right, let me... We're having a little technical difficulty here. Trying to see if we can resolve this real quickly.
He said it doesn't sound anything like Harry Potter. It doesn't sound anything like Dr. Seuss. It doesn't sound anything like...
Trouble hearing, Brian. Okay. All right, he can't hear us too well. Yoga says he's playing poker. Okay. And maybe... Okay, so he's going to reboot and then he'll be right back. All right, so let's look at this. We'll go back to Ninjawitch a little bit here. And like I said, That's doing pretty good. It is at 7,557. 45 backers at 28 days to go. Mog had 2 sketches in there that have already sold, so we're really impressed with that. And you also had one big sale, your ultimate package, which was like 2,500, was it?
2750.
2750, right? So
yeah,
that put a big jump on that baby. So that was good to hear, good to see. You've got covers by Jen Leonard, Joel Gomez, Chris Enott, and Zhao, who has 3 covers on there, Brittany Jackson, and then Mog, and Justin has a couple covers on there as well, right? So you get a chance, check that out on Kickstarter, Ninjawitch. Okay, how are we sounding now, Brian? Are you back on there?
Yep, I can hear everybody now.
All right,
Hopefully.
fantastic. Okay, so the question that I was asking is, what is kind of like, how would you describe your writing style, or like, what references do you like pulling from? What authors do you try to emulate?
Yeah, I think honestly, it's kind of a weird mix for me, because I think a lot of my style from fiction really comes from just being a fan of like TVs and movie. A lot of my writing actually is nonfiction, historical, anthropology kind of stuff. So there's like really kind of old school popular Civil War historians that are really interesting to me, and probably not a lot of other people. But like my kind of aesthetic when I'm thinking about what I want to see, really a fan of like supernatural, right? Like that kind of a thing. A little bit of humor here and there, but just still some kind of heavier components to it. A fan of kind of Josh Whedon's work, maybe not his behavior sometimes, but like his work.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so when you write these, are you writing more in the narrative form because of your historical interest in historical? Were you writing it in that kind of a narrative?
No, I actually try when I do the comics. I basically use kind of a version of like a film script to it, and I'll just kind of lay out each panel. This is kind of what I'm looking for. Then put the kind of dialogue and things in there. And to me, the comic book style is really good because I do write like writing the novels, but you're trying to paint the picture with just words for people. And I really like collaborating with artists to kind of bring out more of the visual side of that. And I've been lucky to work with a lot of artists that kind of, usually are able to get really what I wanted, or even something better sometimes. So,
okay, can you let us know who your creative team is on War Angel?
Yeah, so our primary artist, unfortunately, for issues 1 through 9, passed away suddenly a couple months ago, and that was Tony Doya. He was fantastic to work with. Like I said, is one of those, I think out of 9 full issues, I think I had less than 5 corrections on pages working with him.
Wow.
It was either exactly what I wanted or better. DC Alonso does the colors, and he does colors for the Star Trek comic for IDW.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ernesto Olivero is my primary letterer, and I work with a bunch of cover artists. Justin is one of them. Jason Metcalf, Kevin McCoy are kind of them, and Jonathan Lau are kind of the primaries. But then I'll kind of add a couple people here and there for things. Like I said, Mog did the cover for the trade with the Mika character, which I really like. That one's pretty popular. And as I said, she's going to be a pretty significant player in the second story arc too. So,
right. So when you write your script, how loose do you write it?
Not too loose. I usually
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I usually end up doing probably about 2 or 3 revisions in general. And then the dialogue might shift a little as I kind of see the artwork come together. Because sometimes, like I said, an artist can like do a sketch or give me a layout for a sequential, and I'll be like, oh, I kind of like the way they did that, but it doesn't I might need to change some of the dialogue or the order in which the conversation's happening. But if the art is better than what I had in my head, I'm gonna shift the dialogue to make that support the art as well. And so I'm pretty close on my first draft for that, and then depending on how much I've worked with the artist, that the kind of direction within each of those panels will vary. If I'm working with someone new, I'll give quite a bit more detail. If I'm working with someone I've worked with multiple times, it'll get a lot more kind of generic, just because I'll trust what they're going to do with it.
So how much control would you give? Are you willing to give as much as like rely on an artist if they have the experience and the background for it to do the layouts?
Yeah, in general, what I do is, and I think Justin might have seen some of my scripts before. I can't remember if he has or not. But I think they're pretty open. I want to paint a general picture, and I'll give a lot of references, particularly when we're doing historical things, just so you're getting the historical elements of it right. If it's like a weapon or what a village would look like or something like that. Uh-huh. But usually by the time I'm ready to pay an artist to do something, I have a general idea that they're going to come up with a pretty good concept. And for the most part, I'll do the process of I'll get the sketch first, then I'll get the pencils, then I'll do the inks, and then we'll go from there. So there's in those first kind of couple steps, there's opportunities for me to give more feedback to them. So.
Yeah, because that's where you're going to work out everything out, is just that rough sketch, that little thumbnail, just so that way you can see exactly how you can place your bubbles, exactly how it's going to flow. Is it going to get the information out necessary? How much are you going to rely on the art itself to tell part of the story, and how much wordage that you're going to have to like put in there, right?
Yeah, my philosophy, if I can write it good enough, I almost don't need to have words.
Very, very, very good, right? Because a lot of people don't understand that, right? And I see a lot of it now where you read the words. The words are describing what's happening in the panel, and there's no need to have that conveyed twice. It's you don't need that. You can fill that up with other pieces of information that could be pertinent to that particular scene.
Can I say something?
In most cases, every word I add is covering up someone's artwork.
Okay. Can I say something? Can I say something, Mel?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Just want to make sure we don't over talk each. Okay. This is just my experience doing many interior pages, and it's a pretty good practical advice. And this is what I just came up with this year. Is I ask if there's anybody who want to be comic writers. Please, what you do is, you know how you get those comic what's those backboards, the white backboards in a comic page. So you get that, which is the actual size of the comic. So what you do is you get that, and then you write down all the dialogues in that page, and then see if it can actually fit in. You don't have to even do the panels like squares or anything. Just write down every dialogue that's going to be on the page and see if that's too much. That's like the best advice. Like whenever going back and forth with a writer, like they don't seem to understand why I changed the layouts or anything. And the best way I found out was to visually show them, like, this is what it's going to look like with your writings and with the artwork that you're asking, which is a lot. And then ask yourself, is it feasible? So I'm done asking. Thank you.
Yeah, and you can see there's like in here, like there's some pages where there's like no dialogue. There's just the artwork, right? As you're particularly in those action scenes, right? I think I'm on There was 5 pages with no dialogue, just art.
So I read some of Brian's books. He's got Into the Relentless, which is a sci-fi one. He writes them. What I like about Brian's stuff and working on it is he writes, and I haven't done interiors, but his stories are very cinematic, which is kind of Brian. I did Ninjawitch, but kind of the way you're doing it, like partially inspired by you and movies, right? We see it as a camera, and you're like, okay, I want the flow this way, because in a movie you don't talk the whole time, and if the characters are acting right, and Brian has a lot of emotion in his characters, that itself can tell the story, So when the words are used and there is dialogue, you're actually reading it saying, this is important because he took time to put it in there. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I totally agree with that. Because sometimes there's like stuff that's put in there and I'm going, this is not important. You could take this out and you're not missing a step at all. And you've used 2 panels that like that doesn't have to be in there, and you've taken that causes your other panels to get smaller, and sometimes the kind of things that they're asking for to be drawn in there, you can't fit them, you can't fit it all in there already, and you've just made it a whole lot tighter to try and convey your main message on that page. And that's why I think that's why I tell when people ask me, well, how many panels should I have in there? I said, on the average, 5 to me is what I would think it should be. What do you guys think?
I start feeling a little uncomfortable once I go beyond 5 or 6, unless it's really kind of showing. Sometimes I'll do some insert stuff to kind of show specific things of the action I want to get through. Mm-hmm. And to me, probably 3 to 5 would be ideal, but a couple of those would be larger with some kind of pointed things in there still.
Right.
So for me, it's 2 things. One, there's a question here. What are schlurp and clang? Those are onomatopoeias. It's when you use a word to describe a sound. But for me, it's 5 to 6, kind of like Brian. I do inserts, but when I write it, I'll put like panel 1, top third of page, left high camera. So I know how big the panels are. And then I'll put like, sometimes I did one battle scene and I was like, 3 to 6 panels, artist discretion. Here's what I want it to do, and let the artist come up with how many panels. So,
yeah, we're not saying that it's bad that you got to stay within 5. You can go to 16 if you want, but there's got to be a reason for it, and you don't want to go to 16 on every page because that's just killer. Good example is Frank Miller does it pretty well, right? And he's done it where he's gone to like 8-9 panels, right? And it's kind of wordy, but what he's trying to do there is something, right, that he is trying to show you or share with you when he does that, right? And it's a good thing, but he's not going to do it carry that out, right? So
my experience in doing 6 or more panels, it's really great if it's an action scene, and then you do like 1 killer action scene, like maybe a spread, but then usually it's good to convey a lot of motions in between motions, like inlets, like you said. But when it comes to dialogue, I don't know, because you're putting so many things and then you put dialogues, and that's why I advise writers, please write it down on the comic backboard, all the things that you want to write down, like all the dialogues, and then if you have more than like 6 or 7, the writing, you have to have like a 0.1 pen to write down everything. It's going to be hard for the reader to even read the dialogue. I mean, it's just practical things, like things that oh my God, sometimes drives me nuts. Yeah.
Larry Hama did a Snake Eyes comic years ago. It's called The Silent Comic. There's no words in the whole comic, and I think he has 12 panels per page, but they're the exact same size. And it just follows the whole story of Snake Eyes and his battle and everything. And the way it's written, it's a testimony to, if you write a really good story and you have the good art for it, you don't need the dialogue. And people have tried to copy it and they can't get the same effect. So if anybody really wants to see a book that's well written like that, it's by Larry Hama. It's a G.I. Joe's. It's Google it. It's called like The Silent Issue or something like that. But it's really cool and it conveys exactly kind of what Mo was just saying too.
Yeah, there's a book I was reading in the 90s. It was kind of like the same thing, a little kind of like a pocket book on this little dinosaur. I forgot what it was called, but it was a great read. And
the manga called Gon, Gon.
No.
That has no dialogue. Yeah, it's a baby T-Rex. It has the most incredible penman art.
Okay, maybe that's what it was.
It's a little baby T-Rex in this world going through adventure, and there's absolutely no dialogue.
Yeah. But you could tell, you could see everything that was going on that was trying to be said with each page. No dialogue and nothing, right? And it was like written like that throughout the entire series. And when I had a store, I didn't order too much of that book, but it sold really well, and I kept reordering it just because word of mouth was traveling. And of course, I talked about it in the store as well, and people were going, hey, they would come back and say, hey, yeah, that was a really great read, and a good story that was told with no words, right? So yes, it can be done. And the other thing is that when you use a lot of panels too, right, it really you have to be concerned with your timing and the mood that you're trying to set in there, right, and see what the pacing is. So that's another important thing that comes into play that a lot of people don't understand, right? Is there something that you do, Brian, to try and control that?
I kind of, to me, I feel like I get these points where if I'm working on a page, I'm like, this is too many panels, or, like Mog said, I'm trying to think, how much space am I taking for the art? And then there's a lot of times I've had something where the first time I did it, I get done and it's meant to be on one page. I'm like, this is actually 3 pages if I want to convey all this stuff. And so then I got to figure out, do I make it 3 pages, or is there something I can do, particularly through the art, that's going to say what I was trying to say in those 2 or 3 paragraphs, kind of a thing. So some of it is me trying, as I get that first draft done, looking at it and honestly thinking about like how much of the space am I consuming with dialogue and how much of it needs to be said or how much of it can be shown.
Okay, interesting. Right, so it looks like, did we get a couple claims? Okay, and JD is saying G.I. Joe 21. I think that's in reference to the Snake Eyes story you were talking about, Justin.
Yep, Silent Interlude. Yep, it's a great book.
Okay. All right, and then reviewing what everybody's working on. Justin is working on the next cover for War Angels. Now, this is just a sketch that he's working on, but he is taking bids on the actual cover when he finishes it in pencil. So the opening bid on that is $250, and I don't believe we got that yet.
That's beautiful.
You know what? I'll give him the final pencils, and I'll give him the sketch. They get both. How's that?
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, yeah, I do see the. Okay, so we do have a claim on the War Angels 6 and 7 by Fireworm. Okay, so let me just take a note of that. Thank you very much for that. And please fill out that magic form. You should be able to find that in the comments in there. So when we still have the set of Book of Jessica, that is up for $150. We have 2 exclusive posters. Those are on auction for $15 each. Hono He'e, and then here's Ava by Jamie Tyndall. Okay, so we are accepting opening bids on that for 15. And then we also have, was that everything? No, the couch surfing, right? 1 and 2. And those were $50 each. Wait, was that 50 or was that 30?
They were 30.
Okay, those were 30. And then we have the unsigned copy of issue number 2 for 20. Okay, so that's what we have there. So we are looking for all those. And then Justin is, like I said, Justin is working on that cover. We're looking for an opening bid of $250. And then Ruben is working on Baroness on a G.I. Joe blank. And that is looking for a bid of $75. And then we also have Mog, who's working on her War Angel. Okay, and that's looking pretty good. What's that on top of her head?
You know how they used to wear these big hats, like a
bucket
head? I don't know.
I think it's a Grenadier hat.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's where you're going to put a lot of work into it, a lot of detail.
Like, yeah, they used to wear these, like, I think Brian got it right. I don't know what they're called, but when you look at the pictures, they have these big hats.
Yeah, they're Grenadiers. So,
okay.
During the time, they're kind of larger guys in general, but they're, in addition to being riflemen, they actually carried hand grenades that they would with a fuse and throw.
Did they have the bayonets as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going for, the bayonets. So that's why I got the hat thing.
Okay.
But yeah, and I think the both those covers that Mog's obviously doing a cover for issue 10 as well as Justin, and those characters. I'm really looking forward to kind of how both those play out. The character Justin's working on, if you talk to me, I'm real bad about spoilers because I like talking about my characters. The character Justin's working on is kind of a counter to the Honehei character, and she's still like, I wanted to get some real kind of perspective with where these characters are coming from, right? So, you've got a character that was a former slave, a character that was, subject to French colonization in Mexico, Honehei, who died fighting U.S. cavalry, right? They're not going to be super fans of the U.S. government, right? And so this character Justin's drawing, she was actually in the military, kind of a more contemporary character that was a war hero, but she was Native American, Blackfoot, and she actually dies during this car accident, and she's getting ready to die, and that's when a War Angel would come for him. But Honehei shows up and sees another Native American in a U.S. military uniform and refuses to take her because she says, "You're wearing the uniform of my enemy." And she ends up surviving, and through a twist of fate, gets charged for the accident and goes to prison. Ends up dying through a series of events there. And when she actually dies, Wraith Witch comes and offers her that, and then she takes up the mantle of basically hunting and killing War Angels because they turned her back on her.
Oh, okay. So that's what I was curious about. So only War Angels can create War Angels. I thought there was like this other, all like omnipotent power that just was mysterious that will just do that.
Yeah. So they're the leader of the War Angels, and there's two factions, so to speak. It's called the Order of the Lioness and the Order of the Eagle. That's what they call themselves, but their enemies call them War Angels. And they're led by priestesses, which are kind of conduits of this supernatural power. So they're, like I said, kind of the leaders of those orders. But basically, when they sense someone that's capable of being one of these warriors, when they die or as they're about ready to die, a War Angel will come and take them, bring them back to this magical realm of Haven, where they have the opportunity to either become one of these warriors, to accept the death that they had, go on to whatever afterlife they believed in, or they can live out this long life in Haven, kind of in just kind of peace, right? It's kind of a magical, kind of a medieval realm, but and this is where kind of the character that Mog's working on comes into play too. She was actually the daughter of a Japanese warlord during the unification of Japan in the 1570s, when she became one of these warriors. But in this realm of Haven, which is a homeworld of the War Angels, she ends up falling in love with this Viking that when she died, she decided to stay there and live out in peace. But they fell in love, and she ended up getting pulled back into kind of the War Angel stuff. And she gets killed by a Wraith Witch in issues 1 through 9. And so Mika is distraught because she's Japanese, and so she can't go to the Viking afterlife. And then in issue 10, she actually makes a deal with the goddess Freya. If she goes on a Viking worthy journey of vengeance and kills the person who killed her lover, then she will get then she'll let her enter the Viking afterlife. And so she goes, it's kind of like a Ronin thing, but she's doing it in order to meet the requirements to entrance to a Viking. And it's not Valhalla, it's the kind of Elysian field kind of thing. I think it starts with that. But Freya, half the people who die in battle go to Valhalla, the other half go to this place, and that's where her partner is. And so she's going to undertake this kind of journey to meet those requirements. So,
well, how many issues will this story arc be?
It's probably going to be around 10, I'm thinking, because there's also a science fiction element that shows up in this one that I'm working on as well, and that's going to be where kind of the rest of the gang, so to speak, story arc goes. So there's the Mika story arc. There's this introduction of this new Wraith Witch story arc, and then there's the Val and Raven, and kind of the rest of them are going through this kind of advanced realm science fiction kind of piece.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna take a break here, but don't forget to put in #EXP SketchUp, just like Marissa just did. Hello there, Marissa. Glad to have you here. And then one note, Kenneth Bird writes, "I'd like to support all the artists is here tonight. I love your work. Excellent job. I always support this channel all the time. Thank you for doing the good artwork." And we do appreciate you as well, Kenneth. We love having you here every Thursday night on SketchUp. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Did you know that every Experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out. Twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
Comic Collectibles is a pretty straightforward show. You got Rex here, he sells the comics, and you got Rockin' Robbie, he knows about the comics. And finally, John, well, no one really knows what John does. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a great guy, but he just keeps showing up. Come to think of it, I don't even really know how he gets in here. Anyway, awesome comics, rare books, rarer signatures, slabbed books, and amazing cover sketches by Ken Hazer and others. Simple formula, you want the comics, you buy the comics. To sum up, Rex sells the comics, Robbie knows the comics, and John, who might possibly be a ghost. I mean, seriously, has anyone ever seen him show up or leave? Comic Collectibles with Rex and John, Mondays from 6 to 8 Eastern on The Experience. Comic Culture and Sales.
Welcome back to SketchUp on the Experience. Once again, we have Christopher, Brian Dorsey, and Justin Hunt, and Jason Metcalf is able to join us. Hello, Jason. How are you doing?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
I'm doing okay. Series of unfortunate events occurred tonight, but I'm here.
Glad to see that you are home and safe. So
yeah, thank you.
What's going on? What are you working on, Jason?
Right now, I'm also doing a cover for Brian for War Angels.
Okay, and
right. So this is for the upcoming Kickstarter. I did some prelim sketches.
Okay, yeah. And you guys, which one did you guys decide on?
We're doing this one right here.
Oh, hey. Now, what is it? This is I'm kind of curious here. You did the 4 there, and Brian, why did you decide on that one?
Well, sometimes when I'm like, I'm not sure, I kind of turn the laptop over to my wife and say, "Which one do you like?"
That's a good answer.
It was kind of between the first one and the third one for me.
Okay.
On that one.
This is just a background element here.
Yeah, let's see. So the first, so A and C is what you were being tossed up on, huh?
Yeah, those were. I kind of narrowed it down to those 2, but I didn't tell my wife that. I usually just let her look at it and decide. But I mean, they're all 3 great. I mean, I think any one of them would be good.
Oh,
is there a particular one that you like, Jason?
I actually kind of agreed with Brian. Both A and C were both ones that I.
For me, I'd be leaning towards C just because I can see the face.
Yeah, Jason's cover from the trade here.
Yeah, you know what? The funny thing is that I forget what con that we were sitting next to Jason, right? And I didn't know he did a War Angels cover, but he had it on his table, and I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh wow, he did a War Angels cover as well. So I was kind of like shocked and surprised by that, but that was pretty cool.
That was Denver.
Was that Denver? Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a good one to see. Yeah.
Yeah, the Honehay cover that he did for 6 is probably one of our most popular. Like I said, people just seem to kind of be drawn to that character as well. He nailed the whole cross tomahawk thing. Really, just kind of it's kind of a good attention getter at a booth.
I like A. Because it gives a mood. And I think it'll be even more dramatic if you do a close-up, and you see the profile more, maybe the expression. Yeah. The A can be very dramatic, mood-wise, I think. But that's just me.
And she's going to have a blue kimono with gold trim. I'm going to play around with some like crow designs in the kimono. And then we're going to go with some cherry blossoms kind of falling and scattering here.
Okay.
Yeah, Jason, I think Brian said he liked them. He wanted all 3 of them, so just get going.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Order up.
Price of one.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah. Order up. I'm on it.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Do at least A and C.
Yeah. This one, this particular kind of cover he's working on is really interesting to me because as we kind of talked about it, it's this weird mixture because she's very deeply set in like traditional Japanese kind of culture and history, but she's going on this Nordic Viking quest, and so we wanted to incorporate some, like you talked about, potentially the crow, and there's a lot of symbolism, and so the rune symbol for the thorn represents chaos and vengeance. And so trying to get all those kind of pieces into that, it's really kind of a clash of cultures, but at the same time trying to incorporate those in there so it gets this nice, real clean, crisp, kind of beautiful picture going on.
Yeah, the design's going to be fun to work with on this.
Yeah, I can kind of imagine it already, and I can't wait to see it finish. Right, because we've seen your work, and you do beautiful work. I mean I still love that Conan piece. Um, and I was lucky enough to get that from you at the con. And
the Conan, yeah.
yeah, that's the piece that I like. But then I could be biased because I'm just a big Conan fan and to begin with. But,
as you should be.
Thank you. All right, so Fireworm writes, I might have missed it, but what G.I. Joe comic is Ruben sketching on, and how much is the starting bid on that? That is a G.I. Joe blank cover, and he is drawing Baroness. Starting bid on that is 75. Okay. And Jason, is that what you're putting up for auction tonight?
Yeah. I think I might.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to. It's up to you. Yeah.
Coming in halfway. I'm kind of still taking the temperature of the room here.
Okay. All right. So Justin has his up. Starting bid is $215. You will get the sketch he's working on plus the final pencil work once he's done with all that. Right. And not to put any pressure on you, Justin, but when did you think that you will have those finished?
I will have the sketch done by this weekend, and then by the end of next week, I'll have pencils and inks done.
Okay, so there you go. He'll get it done like in time for Christmas. All right, so that's plenty of time there for you to get that if you do want to bid on that. And like he said, he usually starts those out at like $600. So at $250, that is a sweet deal. Okay, right, and just like Mog, she starts out at the same price, and we've got her War Angels cover for the trade paperback, and starting bid on that is $400. So again, you're getting it's starting it off at 33% from what we normally charge on those, and we're just doing that for this show, right? So if it doesn't go after tonight, it's going to go back up to 600, right? And that'll make us happy, or it'll make me happy anyway. But no, we're happy to offer these up and share them and give them out to you guys out there, so you guys can have a wonderful piece of work to get into, right? So before I continue, I want to touch again on that. On November 25, we are doing our Drive to 25. And what that is, we're trying to reach 2,500 followers by that day. Now we're already pretty close. We're already over 2,000. So if we hit that before then, we'll still continue. But every show on that day, November 25, we'll be giving away a 1 out of 25 variant. Okay, so tell your friends, your family, your coworkers, your church buddies, your sport buddies, and your drinking buddies, and let's get those variants out to you guys, our supporters. So we're not even asking for a donation; just hit that button, okay, and help us get there. Okay. So the other items that we have up for auction are 2 posters that Brian brought in. If you can bring those up, JD. And we are looking for bids on those for $15 each as well. And the other one, this is the one by Jamie Tyndall, looking for a bid of $15. So if you don't go to the cons a lot and you don't see these guys a lot, here's your chance to pick those up. And what size are those? Are those 11 by 17, Brian?
Yeah, they're 11 by 17, and both are limited prints of 25 each.
Limited to 25?
Yeah.
Did you say?
Yes.
Okay. No. Right. There you go. They're limited. They're not very. There's not very much out there, right? So that if that's something you like, you're gonna want to put that bid in there.
I think
now to get that.
Put that up there if you can see it. They got the limited number up there for them.
Okay, I see. Yeah, all right. Okay, and we still have what was it now? Couch surfing. Couch surfing. Okay, yeah. So we have books 1 and 2 that are slabbed, Can you bring those up again, Brian?
Yeah. So we've got issue 1 and 2 signed by both Justin and myself.
There you go.
Those are 9.6, I believe.
9.6. 9.6. 2 signatures on there, and those are $30 each.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we
got an issue number 2, which is not signed, and that is 20.
Yep.
Okay. So if you want those, say so in the comments. You just got to claim them, and they will be yours. Okay. And once again, don't forget to put in # EXP SketchUp. That will get you in the running for our giveaways tonight. We have a set of prints from Louis Bravo, and we are also doing another set of the Demon Bitch merchandise, which is a keychain and a sticker. Okay, there you go. Louis likes to be.
I have a question to Brian.
Okay.
Because I was running through everything what you said about this War Angel, the concept of it, and it seems like everything is tied in with some kind of religious background.
Oh, go ahead.
So I was wondering, like, what if, you said if you die in bravery, then you get a chance to become War Angel. What if the person is like an atheist or something like that?
Yeah, so there's actually a specific point in a comic where we talk about that. One of the characters was a Russian sniper in World War II. And so there's a point where they're having a discussion where the new girl Val's kind of trying to understand what this world is, and the idea of the afterlife, the second afterlife basically comes up, and then this Russian sniper Olga says, "I'm going to fade into nothingness because I don't believe in a God."
Wow. Okay.
That sounds very similar to Piers Anthony's book. Do you remember the Death series that he used to write?
I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's exactly the same where the main character becomes Death, and he collects souls, and then he encounters one atheist, and he said exactly the same thing where, because he ended up not believing in anything, before he could collect it, he just disintegrated.
Yeah, and so I played with some of that kind of religion stuff. One, because I want to keep it kind of true to the cultures of the characters too. I want to carry those belief systems throughout. But even when we get into the other comic universe, the Third Testament, in the book of Luca, who's one of the kind of the heroes of that universe, he's seen the apocalypse. He's seen angels. He's seen demons. He's seen the risen dead. But he doesn't believe in God because he's never seen him. He's like, if he was here, he would show himself, since I've seen all these other things, kind of a thing. So he's literally like a show me kind of person.
Okay. Yeah, when you talk about religion, because there's like so much out there, it's kind of diverse. But then sometimes too, like when you look at it, there's like a lot of stories that can tie the religion together. Right now, do you find that kind of similarity as well in your research?
Yeah, and it's, as religions develop, right, human beings, when you really boil it down, are kind of the same all around the world, right? And so as these, as different belief systems are created, there's kind of core things that are going to be fundamental to all of them, but they can still obviously be, unique and very much owned by that culture. But a good example of one of the characters is this character from the book of Luca on the background here, if I can get out of the way of it, right? And that character it's Lamorta, but before that, it was actually, she was the Aztec goddess of the underworld, but she lost power during colonization because she lost followers due to people converting to Catholicism. And so as she was able to start to regain strength with the Lamorta belief that grew out of the early 1900s, And so now she's mainly in this form of this immortal character, but when she gets angered, she transforms back into this Aztec goddess. And she's got this realm of chains that are around her and vines. So it's like this kind of metallic and plant-based kind of thing. And it's actually her moving souls back and forth in the Aztec underworld. And her army in this post-apocalyptic world. And basically what happened is when the biblical apocalypse happened, it awoke a bunch of different deities. And so like Satan has control of North America, but La Muerta has control of Mexico and Latin America. And her army is made up entirely of women who have lost children because she promises to reunite them in the underworld. And so she, what more of a powerful jar are you going to have for your soldiers than to tell them you're going to get to see your children again, right?
Yeah, and we all understand the love a mother has for her children, right? That's very, very powerful, and that is a strong motivation there.
And there's a scene within like issue 7 of Luca where this La Muerta character is actually talking to the War, one of the 4 horsemen, and he actually asked the question about why women, and she actually says that's one of the failings, is that you think the most powerful forces are vengeance and greed, when it's actually love. You just need to know how to manipulate it.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so we've got a couple things going on here. Fireworm has placed a bid on the Baroness for $75. Thank you very much for that. And Stevie B, that's not a bid, that's a claim. So that is yours on the Couch Surfing number 2, the unsigned one. All right, so that's pretty great. Thank you very much for that. And we still have the Couch Surfing 1 and 2 that are signed by Brian and Justin. Those are available at $30 each if you want those. If you grab that, you might as well grab both of them, right? Why do you want one and not the other? take a complete set there for yourself, right? Right, and those are pretty low. I mean, they're already slabbed for $30. So you're getting like a great deal there. Right.
Yeah, that slab process is about $20 itself.
Yeah, it's like get it slab, get the comic book free. So there you go. And those are 2 good covers there that on those comics, right? So what? See, I know we were kind of like talking about it earlier. But what do you guys have planned for next week? Jason, what do you got going on?
What do we got going on next week? Family gathering Thursday.
A big family
we got my
gathering?
wife's family gathering kind of out of the way tonight. That's where I was between.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't know. I might take a couple days off.
Okay. Yeah, like for us, we're actually going to have a Thanksgiving dinner here on Sunday with my ex-wife and my son. And my son just started college, so he's bringing his girlfriend over as well. So we have that going on, and then we'll be heading up this week to Fan Expo, San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
But the cool thing is that Mog's parents live up there. So it gives us like a double purpose. So we'll be having another Thanksgiving dinner with them as well. So that's our plan for the week, right? How about you, Justin?
Well, during the week, my regular day job, so I'll be working from now until next Saturday. The only day I'll have off is really part of Sunday and Thanksgiving Day. But Amy, her family has about 27 acres, about 40 minutes south of us. So we'll go down there. Her mom will make some turkey the day before. We'll do a bunch of turkey sandwiches. We'll have a bunch of drinks, and we'll shoot off a bunch of guns, just hang out and just kind of kick back and relax and disconnect from everything that's digital because there's no service out there. So We'll bring the dogs down and we'll just disconnect for the day.
Mm-hmm.
That
What
sounds
about you?
amazing.
Yeah, that does. Yeah, it's been a while since I shot any guns, so that would be really cool.
Come
what
on
about
out.
you, Ruben?
I'll probably be eating, but I'm gonna also try to avoid eating too much because you know how that holiday weight creeps up.
You know, you don't have to tell me. I've been trying to keep my weight down, and it keeps going up and down. You know, I look at it, I gain weight, and then I just control my eating again. I go back down, and then I kind of go. You know, it's just up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
Gosh,
what about you,
somehow
Brian?
I got a head start on my weight gaining this holiday season.
It's hard not to, man. All those pies at the stores. And
It was after New York Comic Con. Anyway, I'm interrupting. Go ahead.
You know what sucked is that this past Halloween, right? I bought a big bag of candy to pass out. There was like 180 pieces in there, right?
Mm.
And I know I wasn't going to pass them all out, right? But our turn-up was so low. I think I gave away 30 pieces, right?
Oh, no.
So I got 150 pieces left in the bag. And you know who ate most of that? I did. That sucked.
Okay. You know what's also weird is that when you open the door and it's a bunch of like big kids, like adult saying trick or treats. And it's just kind of like, whoa, where's the romance of freaking Halloween? Why do you have to give, kid candy to practically grown-ups? Just, I don't know.
They're teenagers still, but they are pretty.
I was wearing a costume, okay, Mog.
Yeah,
I knew that was you in the tutu.
You know what I think is really weird as well is our son bringing his girlfriend for a holiday feast. It's a family thing, and I'm thinking, what kind of why would a guy bring his girlfriend to Thanksgiving? Did you guys ever did that?
Yep. They're pretty close to something happening then.
That's not.
They're just 18. It's like, dude, I don't care if you guys get married or not. Seriously, why do you want to bring? You guys brought your girlfriends to the Thanksgiving family thing because you were planning to marry the girl, right?
Yes.
Not all the time. I brought her over maybe to test out what the family thinks.
I mean, young romance, they want to be around each other during the holidays,
all day long,
Yeah.
Anyway,
at least he's bringing them to your place and he's not going to her place. So look at the silver lining.
Yeah, that's the good thing is that, you know what, it's actually kind of like a good sign if they want to bring them over, okay? Because then it's like, okay, they're willing to share their experience, or at least show that, hey, this is my girlfriend, or this is my, the person that I like being around, right? And they're not afraid of bringing them to you, right? So it's like part of it is like respect, and part of it is that they don't have that fear. I don't know. It's kind of like a testament to the relationship that you have, I guess.
Okay, you know what? Another really weird way of thinking it is you have no romantic imagination. The biggest date you can ask is bring your girlfriend to a family. Come on, can you come up with something better? Okay, I'm being really mean right now. So
yeah. Okay. Anyway, we will be right back. I'm not sure where this conversation is going, but we'll see. So don't go away. We'll be right back with our guests, Christopher Brian Dorsey, Jason Metcalf, Justin Hunt, and Ruben Rosas.
Why was Princess Zelda sad after watching a bunch of YouTube videos? She couldn't find a link in the description. We'll stop if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's super easy. Click subscribe and click the bell when you do. And thanks for supporting the EXP.
There's a comic book universe on the streets of Cleveland. Hero Tomorrow Comics is debuting
Violante, the Undead.
Get the new issue or the entire acclaimed library live on Kickstarter.
I'm coming for you, Cleveland.
Details at clevelandsuperhero.com.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds, a promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks again for joining us on SketchUp. You're watching us on The Experience. Don't forget to hit that follow button. Help us reach 2,500 followers. And if you're watching us all day on Saturday, you'll see that we'll be, if we reach that number, we will be giving away 1 out of 25 variants on each of the shows that day. We're not too far away from that, so it shouldn't take that much to get there. So tell your friends, your family, co-workers, church, sport, and drinking buddies. Let's get these variants out to you guys. Okay, so we've had several things appeared on auction and for claim, and 2 things that we've got on the auction are 2 posters from War Angels. One, there you go. That's the one by Jamie Tyndall, and we are just looking for a bid on that for $15. And we have the second one of a what's the name of this character? Is this Honohe?
Honohe.
Yeah, Honohe. Okay, and that we are also looking for a bid on that for $15. Those are limited to 25 in production, so you are getting a really good deal there. Okay, and you can see that number down there. We are also looking for. We're still looking for a bid, or not a bid, but a claim on the books of Jessica. It is a complete set there of 1 to 4, $150. They're all slabbed, all above 9.6 and higher. Complete story. It sounds like a really good story too. And like I said, $150, and that will you'll be able to take that home for Christmas. And then what else do we have? We also have we got the giveaways. We'll be giving that away, so don't forget to put in # EXP SketchUp on that. And Justin is working on a cover for the next War Angels. $250 starts the bid on that. We have not gotten that yet. Okay, but if you are the high bid for that, or you get your bid.
I'm sorry to jump in, but Stevie B has a bid on Justin's cover for $250 right now.
Okay, Stevie B has a bid on Justin's cover for $250. Okay, so the winner of that will not only get the pencils, but you also get the sketch that he's actually working on that, right? And he says he'll be done with the whole thing in about 2 weeks. Okay. Mog has also put up her cover for War Angels for the trade, if you can bring that up, JD. And we are looking for a bid of $400 on that. Okay, and that is again with these covers, they start off easily at $600, right? So we're offering them tonight at a really, really good price.
These
And
are
we're
great
happy to
deals.
have
Even I want to jump
Amy.
in.
I'm sorry?
I said, these are great deals. Even I want to jump in on some of
I know. Especially the one that Jason is working on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're happy to have Amy Hunt in the house. This is Justin's significant other. She says, hey, that guy in the Yankees gear is pretty cute.
That's love, man. Love.
And Haley writes, I reckon you should ask that dude in the Yankee gear out on a date. You never know. He might say yes.
She's buttering me up because she doesn't know if I bought her a Christmas present yet. That's the
deal. All right. Okay, so we talked about that. Okay, and then Ruben has the Baroness that he's working on. That also has a bid on there of 75. So we are looking for the next bid on that, and we take bids in increments of $5. So if you want to take that home, put in Baroness, and the next bid would be $80 on that. And I'm just taking a note here. And once again, thank you for that bid, Stevie B. He's been a great supporter of the show. Okay, so we were. So what were we talking about? We were talking about Thanksgiving, right, and what everybody was planning to do here. Right. So with your world of books, there, Brian, are you looking to expand any more? I mean, what exactly are you trying? Are you just putting out books that you write, or are you thinking about maybe having other people come in and being published under your banner?
Yeah, I think from now it's just going to be me, partially because I want to be set up really well to. I wouldn't want to bring someone in and be able to promise them a bunch of stuff, try to promise them a bunch of stuff and then not deliver on it, right? I'm still kind of trying to build the name for Mountaineer West and myself as a creator. And honestly, just through getting all these comics are Kickstarter funded. I think we just finished our 29th Kickstarter. Wow. And there's probably, there's 3 other comic book series that I've written that we haven't even really started production yet. And so there's just so much in the queue for the Kickstarters, so much other stuff that I've written and still need to get done that I wouldn't be able to really focus on bringing another kind of creator in at this point, at least.
Yeah, because you definitely would need a lot more people to help
right
manage
now
something like that.
Yeah, it's me. So I write, and then I obviously contract out to the artists, but I handle all the Kickstarter packing and shipping. I'm standing, at the post office, getting all those boxes out and everything, and then all the marketing and advertising and all that stuff. It's pretty much me. So
wow, okay, so you are doing everything by yourself, and I feel for you because that's basically my job as well. And nobody realizes like how much time that all takes, but it's a full-time job.
Yeah, and that's on top of my actual full-time job too. So
that's yeah. Like I said, you got like a full load. As for like Mog and I, this is what we do full-time. We don't do anything else, right? So wow, good for you that you're able to do all that. I wish I had that energy still like you do. So on the Kickstarters, right? 29. That's a great amount of campaigns to have like under your belt, and you're getting ready to do your next one here in January. What do you think what are some of the key points you think that are important to address on a campaign?
So for me, and what I'll say is I'm kind of I started out slow purposely, wasn't asking for kind of just enough. And the first couple I did wasn't even going to cover the production. I was going to cover the rest myself, but I wanted to create a a name as someone who delivers on Kickstarter, because I think everyone has, backed the Kickstarter and then never seen it. And so I want to make sure I deliver. All 29 of those have been delivered on time. And so I get a reputation for delivering. I get a reputation for getting out good quality work, and then build the kind of fan base over time. War Angels is kind of our most popular. We've kind of got to a place with that where I've got enough followers where I know it's going to fund to the level where I can make it. Just trying to push it to be able to do a little more than fund that one plus a little bit of the next one. Maybe put a little money in the bank someday would be great. But I've hit that level where I can perpetuate the series, right? And so I think for a lot of people, that's success. I get to create something. I get the systems in place for me to go create the thing after that as well. And so for me, it's that create a consistency, get a good underlying fan base, make sure you get good quality stuff, including cover artists. And you can tell with Jason and, Mog and Justin there, they're all, very high quality artists doing those covers for me, as well as the other people that are doing the work. And so to some degree, kind of starting out as an independent, those guys also help bring legitimacy to the company and to me as a creator with their stuff on front of the books.
And that's good, because consistency is, I think, is key, right? There's a lot of Kickstarters out there, even though they get funded. There's some of it just doesn't get it doesn't go through the fulfillment, right? Or it doesn't reach fulfillment. And I think you're on the right track. As long as you stay within that plan, we've seen it work, and there's no better time to have something like that. That's like a dream project where you can bring it up. Whereas I've seen people in going back into the 80s and 90s, you see guys like Brian Polito, Billy Tushy, and how they started. Their numbers were really, really, really low. Now you look at them, they're on Kickstarter and they're hitting six figures on their Kickstarters, doing well. They've got a good, strong following, good support. And I think that was the key, is that they were consistent in getting their products out there. And I honestly believe was one of the problems that we were having in the 90s with a lot of books coming out from Image. They weren't consistent. But with the Kickstarters where you're able to do your own, it's not going to be as consistent like it was with the mainstreams, where you can get your product out as fast as they are, but consistent enough where they're coming out every few months, like what you guys are doing, you and Justin. It keeps it still fresh in everybody's mind, where they don't have to think, oh, what was that issue about again? And then they can come back and read the stories. 9 issue you have is, I think, really, really good start. And so I commend you on that, and wish you the very good success on that. Right. So we are at about quarter till, and we still got time, but I want to make sure that we hit a few things here. Right. So again, we're going to be doing a giveaway fairly soon. So if you haven't yet, put in # EXP SketchUp to enter in that giveaway. We will be giving away a Louis Bravo print set. If you can bring that up for us, JD. This is a good friend of ours. I've brought him around to some of the shows that we do. Kind of a quiet guy, but he's very funny in his illustrations, and he likes to be. Gets a lot of comments about him. He's got a big, strong following. A couple of years ago, he did over 1,000 blank sketch covers in a year. So that's a testament to what he does there. And also, we'll be giving away the Demon Bitch set. Okay, and then we'll take a look at Ruben's Baroness. That already has a bid of $75. So if you want to take that, we are taking bids of $80 or more on that.
Yeah, thanks to the bidder. I appreciate it.
Yep. And then we also have Mog Park's War Angel. And we are still looking for an angel bid on that for 50, so that's fairly low as well. And then Justin has a bid on his for 250 already. And the winner of this will get the sketch and the pencils when he's done with them. And let's take a look at what Jason is working on here. Oh, yeah, and he's got that beautiful cover. I can't wait to see that when he's done. And that's going to be on the next War Angel cover. That's going to be launching in January. Okay. Now we are still looking for, you can still bid on the 2 exclusive posters that Brian brought in. Okay. And that's, we are just looking for $15 on those to start the bids. Okay, either one of those. Okay. We also have the slab book set of the Books of Jessica, 1 to 4, 150. Okay, and then what we have left as well is Couch Surfing 1 and 2 that are signed by both Brian and Justin, and we are looking for $30 each to claim either of those. And Mog, can we get a better picture, a look at yours of what you're working on? Where are you at so far with that? Mog.
Oh,
there you go. Okay.
Oh, wow. You got pretty far on that one.
Yeah.
It's like a hybrid armor slash Imperial armor and what do you call it? Bayonet soldier type of thing.
Yeah, if that one doesn't get picked up, you and I will probably talk because that aesthetic will fit well into issue 10. So.
Yeah, because that's what I didn't know that what character was there because you said she was religious and I was putting like a cross. You said she's Catholic, right?
So it would depend on which character we're talking about.
You said there was an 1870 character?
So there's a Raven from the 1860s. She's Catholic. And so it kind of depends on where they're from, but yeah, Raven is most definitely Catholic.
Interesting.
That looks nice. I like the pose. That's cool.
Oh, thank you.
Is there just a quick question, Brian? Were you going to be introducing any more new War Angels? I know you talked about the Wraith one.
Yeah, so there's within the kind of lexicon, there's going to be, dozens or hundreds of War Angels. You're obviously going to want to focus on kind of a smaller number of them. Maria Keene, who does line work for G.I. Joe, I believe, and has done some other work as well. I think she's done some sketch stuff and character stuff for some HBO work. I've got 17 character pieces done already for different characters that I could pull in and out kind of the universe.
Wow. Okay.
And so, yeah, it's meant to be an ongoing long-term universe, kind of like, how many X-Men are there kind of a thing. Yeah.
Well, because especially when you, and your story arcs are long, because you said the next one is like 10 issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot to bite into that and to keep on top of, right? So if you guys want to catch up with what Brian has now, you want to go to Mountaineer West, is it? .com?
Yeah. So the website is mountaineerwest.com. Instagram is Mountaineer_West. And our new Facebook page is @MountaineerWest.
Mm-hmm.
It'll show up as MWP. We kind of had a transition. We had 3 Facebook pages for War Angels. We had one for all the comics, and we had one for the books that I write. But Facebook, for some reason, isn't letting me run ads on them. So I had to create a new Facebook page and transfer everything over to there. So that @Mountaineer West is our new primary Facebook page.
There you go. All right, so you can catch up on all 9 previous issues and get ready for that 10th issue coming up. right, so we have 850 on here. Let's go ahead, JD, and do the first giveaway for the. Let's do the Demon Bitch merchandise this time. We'll do that first. All right, here we go. The Collector's Bounty wins that one. Great job there. Okay. And now we're going to do the Louis Bravo one. Philip Brian, thank you very much, Philip. We will get these out to you. Okay, so I want to thank everyone for that. And don't forget, you still have we'll give you guys still a little bit of a chance to get any final claims or bids that you want to get in on there. Stevie B writes, how are the polar bears treating you? Was thinking I'd rather be where you were instead of raking leaves today. Where are you, Stevie B? But yeah, it's been pretty cold in our area, and even though we're in Southern California, and it's getting pretty cold down here, as I would imagine where you guys are at, because all three of you are in Washington, right?
Yep.
Brian, Jason, and Justin.
Yep.
Do you guys live close to each other?
I think we're all within an hour of each other.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. So do you guys hang out or anything like that, or?
Yeah, we go shoot at stuff together.
I've hung out with Brian at shows, and I've done a drink and draw with Jason once. What was that, Lilac? I think we did.
Yeah. We see each other routinely at all the local events and stuff. So
right, yeah. Because we've met Justin once, and that was at
Rose City.
Yeah, I know it was in Portland, but I just couldn't remember which one it was.
Yeah, Rose City in 2021.
20 was it 21?
21 or 22?
Yeah.
No, 21. It was 2 years ago.
Okay, and then we just met Jason this past year at Denver. Okay, we haven't met Brian yet, but we will at the LA Comic Con. So if you guys are going down there, all right, you can pick up the trade from Brian, bring it over to Mog, and she'll sign it if you get her cover. Okay, so we will be there for that. All right, so Marissa Burton is asking, has Justin finished putting up the Christmas decor yet? Sounds like this is
last week we started it. So I don't do Christmas decor. My wife does all the Christmas decor. That's her holiday. However, next week I will be renting a boom lift and putting all the lights on the outside of the house. So it'll be done probably before Thanksgiving sometime or right after.
Yeah. We don't do ours until after Thanksgiving. So I got that to look forward to when we come back from San Francisco. But in that week, we also have the LA Comic Con. So I'm only going to have a few days to do that. And then on top of that, I have a friend coming in on Wednesday that I'm going to have to take care of a little bit. So my schedule is going to be really hectic that week.
My wife just left one of our Halloween skeletons out by the front door and put a Santa cap on him for now. kind of a placeholder.
Nice. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for being with us tonight. We won't be having a show next week. Oh, did we get a bid on Mog's piece? didn't see that.
I believe Justin is bidding $75 on Mog's piece.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that, Justin.
What? Are you serious? I was thinking, yes, I can keep this drawing.
Yeah, because what's weird is that sometimes Mog doesn't get enough time to like do pieces for the shows, so we're always like kind of, what new pieces can we put up? So can't do that, and that's already sold. And so thank you. But anyway, thank you for that. Do appreciate that. Yeah, that you could say that it was stolen. All right. Anyway, so we won't have a show next week, but again, don't forget, hit that follow button. Help us get to 2,500. And then on Saturday, November 25, every show that day on the experience, we'll be giving away a 1 out of 25 variant, right? And don't forget, if you made a claim or a bid, please fill out the magic form that's up on the in the comments. Look for that if you can't see that in the in there right away. And then for you guys, for you guys here where you were selling like stuff, once I get all that information, I will forward you that information, and you deal directly with the customer on that, right? So, and you collect from them directly as well. Okay. So thanks again for being on the show. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving week, and we will see you the week after that. All right.
Great hanging out. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Yep.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.